So they'll be calling you a radical, and I'm a fool to do all your dirty work. All these people making all this money, university professors, so-called experts who don't know shit. And I'm the one doing all the work. I mean, it blows my mind. So, this is a big deal. This is for all you attorneys. I'll do your work for you. So, this is a really big deal. So, stay with me. As you know, I've been all over this for years. I'm the leading voice with the NRC. Go ask them. Bar none. I'm the guy. I'm the only person that holds the NRC in check. The only person on earth that holds the NRC in check. That's an unarguable fact. Go ask them. I chime in on every hearing. I'm all over it. They know that I'm super educated on it. I'm super experienced. They listen. And they know that I'm on to them. Now, stay with me. So the judge in New Orleans has shut down the repository. Where are you going to put your dry cask containers from Sentinel Free? Where are you going to put them? Number one, stop making the fucking shit. 50 years ago, they should have stopped making the fucking shit. And so, but number two, nobody wants it. So, stay with me. So, on the Sentinel Every shutdown, Sentinel Every never shuts down without Kevin Blanch's cancer. I'm always the keynote speaker in every one of those hearings. That's an unarguable fact. And so, there's a reason I am. There's a reason we got Sentinel Every shut down. So, we have the priority bill that got through Congress. As you know, Harry Reid, who I knew, and me and him, we were batting heads because with the stroke of the pen post Fukushima, all the nuclear waste by law is supposed to be in Yucca Mountain, right? By law. By law. So we're paying a fine to these owners of these nuclear energy death factories. We pay a fine. Taxpayers are paying them. Now, they're not public utility. Who owns them? Round up the usual suspects. The oligarchs. Google. It's been exposed who owns these things. So, Harry Reid grew up satellite. He grew up at Yucca Mountain. That's where he's born and raised. Of course, he represents the state of Nevada. Of course Nevada doesn't want it. They paid the price open air tests. They don't make nuclear waste. They just get dumped on like Utah. Oh, Utah loves it, though. We don't make it, but bring it on the toilet. So, the NRC with a stroke of the pen turns every single nuclear repository every single nuclear reactor in the country into a repository. What? I went crazy. No, Harry. And he supported the NRC. I says, so as you know, I speak in hearings. I'm like, no, go right ahead. You have no authority. You're not judicial branch. You're not executive branch. You're not even legislative. You're a committee. You have no power. None. And so when the NRC says we're going to approve this freaking pad, all my nuclear waste exes live in Texas, it's bullshit. The courts got it right in New Orleans. They shot it down. They said exactly what Kevin Mine says for years. You have no authority to do that. Absolutely none. Now, Texas has passed laws. Of course, Utah's passed laws. Idaho's passed laws. Cecil Andrews died. Scott Matheson died. All these. The feds don't care. This is where you're missing the boat in Texas. Well, New Mexico, there's two pads. There's two pads that are filed for license. One's in Texas. One's actually in New Mexico. So whip it up good. They've been shipping so much waste to whip, including Mox fuel, for a freaking decade while you're asleep. They backdoored Yucca Mountain, put it in whip in New Mexico. What's whip? Hello. They don't need your state authority. The Department of Energy, especially post-Patriot Act, has superseded all laws. Constitution. Freaking Patriot Act got rid of that. They don't need your approval. They absolutely don't. And that's been proven over and over and over and over. There's so much waste that's already gone to Yucca. Now, what's the answer? There is no answer for the waste. Nobody wants it. Yeah, you make, like I said in San Diego, I used to say it for years in California. I've said it for years. You make nuclear waste in Texas. You make it in Texas. You make it, you eat it. What are you going to do with your waste? You're going to continue to store it on site because that's where it's being stored, in swimming pools in these reactors that were never built for it. These reactors were never built to freaking store waste. It was supposed to go to Yucca by law. Yucca got built. They sucked them. Nevada's like, oh, no, ain't happening here. So they got it right. So the priority bill, which I worked on with Mike Levin in San Diego, that's the biggest piece of his platform that got him elected. You know, I'm in his ear. I consult with him all the time. I'm the priority bill, who Congress, only Congress. So Harry Reid on the repository thing, I told Harry Reid the only way, no, only Congress could do it. Okay, so he put it to Congress. Congress passed it. Of course, this is the same Congress, you know, the teabaggers that passed legally shooting sea lions for eating seals. For eating salmon. So it's been passed by Congress, signed into law by Trump. Obama, Trump, Biden, talk about their mugshots need to develop it. What about Fukushima? What about Fukushima? What about Fukushima? What about Fukushima? You're still in Fukushima denial. The whole country's in Fukushima denial. I mean, wake the fuck up. This nasty, sickening, disgusting. What about the opportunity cost that they've sucked away from real answers? It's like that new scale fairy tale here in Utah. What a sham. There is no nuclear energy. They have no, yet you're paying out of your bill. Every somebody in Utah should be lining up and suing these fuckers in Utah. You only had one person resisting and fighting back on this freaking SMR fairy tale. NuScale promised they'd be 24 of them online in Utah by 2019. 23. Now they're saying 12. Now it's maybe 6. And they got a license approved through the NRC. Now, let me tell you about the corruption of the NRC. Jose Reyes worked at Idaho National Lab. What? Christina, who approved it, Trump put into the chair of the NRC, who's since been removed, approved it. She worked with him at Idaho. I mean, where's the lawsuits on that? Where's the appellate court on that? Well, it doesn't even get to the regular courts. Because Greenpeace, Sierra Club, and everybody, all these people that have all the money, you got Kevin Blanch, and I don't have any money. I mean, if I had a good attorney and I had some good funding, they wouldn't have slandered me all over the internet. I mean, that was their game. I mean, you used to Google me and just the slander was, well, I'm in critical felonies. The son of a Special Forces Marine. Yeah, I'm so educated up and down one thing. So the NRC shot it down. The court shot it down. And they said exactly what Kevin Blanch has said for years. Exactly what I've said for years. This is a committee. They have no judicial branch. They have no executive branch. But wait a minute. In New Mexico and or in Texas, here's the deal. Doesn't matter what these courts say, because the feds can override. Why? Because if you haven't learned yet by now, the Department of Energy, which is the Department of Nuclearism, the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate cult, they do whatever they want. Nobody takes them on, which I call them the untouchables. They can do whatever they want. If the cover-up of Fukushima doesn't prove to you, they own the internet, which has turned into, the United States is state-run media. If you don't think we have state-run media in the United States, you're not paying attention. Fukushima, they don't use the word for 4,500 some odd days, and now it's everywhere after the frogs have been boiled. The nuclear energy emperors have no clothes. So the court got it right. They shut down the NRC approval on the pad in Texas to put this waste. Waste sitting on, it's in dry cast container, but let's get real. Diablo Canyon's not sitting in dry cast container on shock absorber. That's the greatest accomplishment in grassroots activism in history. Without Kevin Blanch, that never happens. Kathy Iwani, that never happens without her. Never. We did it. They weren't going to. They're afraid of us. I mean, it was hard work, but we pulled it off. Not only that, getting the spent fuel out of the dry pools into the... they had an accident on the 30th of January 20. Whoa, I was in the bone marrow transplant going in and out of coma. I had the field. I'm the guy that broke that to the world because the people that I know that work there, the ex-Hollywood Marines, they're like, you got to do it, Kevin. Yeah, they're not going to come into this freaking bone marrow transplant and handcuff me. And I says, it's not illegal anyway. It's legal. We can, we have the right to know. Whoever thought that it'd be illegal whoever thought the truth would be classified? But it has been. When they could classify a grassroots freaking activist, I invented the Million Mass March on this campus. And by the way, it's way after midnight. It's way after midnight, all you half-nukers. The anti-nuclear movement, the environmentalist movement, the universities, the professors, whatever. The litmus test was Fukushima, and they all failed. Oh, Kevin Blanchard, the greatest PhD opportunity in human history. I'm the only one that took it. Oh boy, the greatest PhD ever done. Look at my tide pool work. Look at my salmon work. Somebody says, "What about the chance?" You better sleep for 12 years. Pay attention. Wake up. Just because, you have to seek out knowledge. So where are you going to put your dry cask containers? I've always said centrally locate it, get it off our place, shoot it into space. That's not far-fetched. We shot a load into Saturn. I argued with Miko. He just said no, no, no. And I said, listen, Miko, Kaka, if we don't, it's going to blow up here. It could blow up in the rocket on the way. And I'm like, yeah, of course it could. Of course it could. But if we don't, it's going to blow up here. So we shot it to Saturn. It took 20 years. But it worked. It landed on Saturn. I know it's a horrible option, but Yucca Mountain's not going to happen. Whip, just putting it in a hole, it's not an answer. It's a shell game. And all you pro-nukers need to pull your heads out of your ass. You need to pull your heads completely out of your ass. It's where the wind blows. It's where the water flows. Oh, it's way past midnight. You're still waiting for the main event. Fukushima was the main event. Race ecological catastrophe. You're going to chalk everything that happened to post. So the courts got it right. They shut down the NRC, and they said exactly what Kevin Blanch just said, to a T. They've said exactly to a T what I've been saying for years. Get it off our place. Shoot it into space. The NRC, you have no power. So this goes back to NuScale. And, of course, here's Utah. Do you know if you're paying an energy bill in Utah that you're funding Bill Gates? I thought you guys hated Bill Gates. He stole the operating system here. Yeah. Windows stole that. Fair and Triangle. Alan Ashton and Bruce Bastian invented WordPerfect. WordPerfect had 99% of the market. Remember the lawsuit? Remember Novell WordPerfect sued Bill Gates? He showed up to the trial in 2011. How come you weren't there? He's in the bone marrow transplant center clinging to fucking life, down to 119 pounds. That's why. So, the courts in New Orleans, I read the ruling, sounded word for word, like Kevin Blanch, the world's foremost expert. And take on the nuclear, you could stay in the academia circle? Really? Really? Aaron Swartz was right. Kevin Blanch, I was this self-educate long before Aaron Swartz, but my broad base of work, people say, why are you taking this degree? This isn't your declared major. I never declared a major. I'm a BIS. No, that's not what it says. Well, that's just some professor shoving it in. I have enough credits to have dozens of degrees. I'm into a broad knowledge, but that's back when we had professors. Now we got bootlickers. The whole academia thing's a fraud. Socially, I guess it's good for young people, but academia, I think it's derogatory to your education at university now. Because now they don't teach you what they should be teaching. They rabbit hole you into, nuclear energy is clean, green, renewable. Are you fucking kidding me? Nobody wants your fucking nuclear waste. And we said for years, everybody says, why quit saying that? It's true. Number one, stop fucking making this shit. Nobody wants it. Oh, you dropped your dry cask container. Oh. It's on. It's been on for 4,550 some days. What's Fukushima? I'm a butcher. What's a cow? I'm a baker. What's a cake? I'm a university science professor, biologist, zoologist. Isn't Ray Norda? Isn't that? Yeah. Isn't he? Yeah. Isn't he Nobel? Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Now who stole all that? Eric Schmidt rolled in here, the CEO of Sun Micro. Then he becomes the CEO of what? Novell. And the $1 billion just vaporizes. You've been had, man. You've been had. You've been had. Oh, they tore the name off the wall. David O. McKay Education Building. Tore it off. Alan Ashton's his grandson. Did you know that? Yeah. Bruce Bastion's Fido Farnsworth. Yeah. I'm telling you. All roads lead to Ogden, Utah. Go team. By the way, Carlsbad? What's that all about? Oh, the desal plant? What? We're drinking water in San Diego out of the ocean? Yeah. TikTok, Diablo Canyon clock. Oof. Fukushima 311. The new beer up on Hillcrest on 30th Street. The new Carlsbad freaking microbrew. Fuck. They got it right. For all you attorneys, I'll keep doing all your fucking work. And, you know, I'm here to tell you. They can move it to whip and Texas any fucking... And they have been. They've proven it over. It's been going on for years into whip. Because, like I just said, if the USS Reagan case didn't prove that, the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate, the cult, which is the Department of Energy, used to be the Department of Energy, they have carte blanche. Not blanche, blanc. They are the untouchables. No one dares touch them. Nobody will sue them. No attorneys will show up. They can slander a guy in critical condition. Physically, I mean, to the point where I almost got killed. While I'm fighting for cancel with felonies in all 50 states, there were dozens of YouTube sites, dozens of Facebook fucking pages for all those years when I had to fill. Fuck, I invented the Million Miles March. We only had 7 million people that day. Remember. You know that day is the next day is when Obama called in TEPCO to the White House and retooled the cover-up. Was November the 6th. Remember. We're there. Here comes the Japanese TEPCO right into the White House. Right. We film at 11, 3 of them. Video killed the media star. Video killed the media star. We can't rewind, we've come too far. Blanche's pictures broke your heart. Stay tuned.